Hey there folks, my name is Kern. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are on beta. I have not put together a lot of beta stuff because I simply haven't had the time to even play beta, much less think about content for beta. But I did want to talk today a bit about professions in the war within. I do not want to get into any arguments over what is the most efficient way to use your profession's skill knowledge points to get you billions of gold. Frankly, I don't think anyone knows how to do that quite yet. I think everyone has like good guesses, and I hope to share my plans on my blog at kern.info/blog sometime later this week or early next week before The War Within comes out, before early access. What I did want to talk about though was professions and specifically profession equipment. So let us open up skinning. Not skinning, leatherworking. I am a skinner leatherworker on this character. And you can see here that I have a variety of tools, right? I've got rank 5 greens, two of them, 346, and rank 5 blue, which is 372. So there's quite the gap between the greens from the Dragon Isles and the blues from the Dragon Isles, right? That is, I can't do math, but 46 to 72 is some measure of like 26 or something. Anyway, I can't do math. But that's not why we're here. We're here to point out to you that these are no longer going to be really useful. You'll see that the equip is +6 Dragon Isles leatherworking skill. So equipping this in Khazalgar, in the War Within, means nothing. It'll still give me the 79 multicraft, but it won't give me the skill. That said, don't get rid of this stuff. As you replace it, put it in the bank, because you never know when you're going to actually have to pull it out and actually use that equipment, those accessories and that tool to craft something from Dragonflight. So highly recommend you just stick it in the bank. Don't vendor it, whatever. You do need to replace it quickly though. So instead of these blues and unfortunate greens that I have, let's look at the equivalent of the smock, right? Because I'm a leather worker. So the green one is called the Hide Shaper's Cover. It's a 538. A little bit better than 372, right? 538, and then that's just rank 1. And each rank up grants you another 6 points. So we are looking at a total of 24 extra points at max quality. So that's 42, 562 or so for max level greens, which is so much better than even 372. And don't forget, you can use your concentration to bump yourself to the next level. So here it's 538, but if I use 93 concentration, 544. So where do I learn how to make the Hide Shaper's Cover? Well, I learn it from my profession trainer, the leatherworking trainer, at level 25 skill. I don't have 25 skill yet. I've got 13. But once I get there, I can train and be like, yo, give me the recipe and I will learn it. And then I can make one for myself. And it'll probably be low quality. I have no finishing reagents. I don't even know what the heck they are. Stack of pentagold reviews. Unraveled instructions. Artisans Consortium seal of approval. Like, I have no idea what those things are. And then I can add concentration. So the most I can make right now is a rank 2. Oh, look at that. They actually show you the item levels. Very good. Okay, so those are the levels that you're looking at. So there is a gap from 12 to 19 at the rank 4, and 19 to 26 is also a 7-point gap from 557 to 564. So that's interesting. Okay, so but that's all blues. That's all greens. What about the blues? So here, the blue equivalent is the Arathi Leatherworker Smock. We're looking at it. It's 564 base. And if we look here, 564 base to 570 to 576 to 583 to 590. That's pretty beefy. So obviously, we eventually want to get ourselves into full blues at max quality. But look at the difference in the concentration it'll take. It took me 93 concentration to go to level 2 here. And then with the blue one, it's going to take 177, which is kind of ridiculous. Especially considering you only have 1,000 concentration. Concentration, by the way, regens at approximately 1 per 5-ish minutes. Don't know the exact number, but it'll take about 2.5 to 3 full days for your concentration to come all the way back to 1,000 from 0. So where do we get the blue recipes? You get it from a vendor called Lyrandal here in the main city of Dornegal, and it's going to cost you 150 artisans acuity. Back in Dragonflight, these more advanced recipes, the blues, were generally gated behind reputation. That's why I have such crappy tools here, because my blacksmith is not, or was not, the right rep level with whoever the hell it was he needed to rep up with. Because I never play my engineer, or my blacksmith, or whoever it is. So it's sort of gated behind artisan's acuity. 150, and I have 27, and I still need another 300 to craft the damn thing. So I decided, let me get into beta. Let me take a look at this guy. So we are looking at Lyrandal, who is the Artisans Consortium Quartermaster.
Choose wisely.
And he's the guy who's going to sell you this stuff. So if we go to Pattern Arathi Leatherworker Smock, you'll see that, first of all, the recipe is BOP. It's not Bind to Warband. It's not BOE, it is BOP. You buy that, it is yours. Same thing with the smock, actually. While the green ones are BOE, and you can sell them on the auction house, the blue ones need to be done via crafting order. So, if I had 150 acuity, I could buy this recipe, and I wouldn't be able to use it until my leatherworking went up to 35. Which is fine. Like, that's not so hard, right? Especially by Dragonflight standards. But I don't have the additional 300 to make the thing I want to make. So if we look at the recipe a little more clearly over here, if I've spent 150 on the recipe and I get 200 for turning in some quests, which I believe is the case, then I'm only going to have 50 left. So how do you get more artisans acuity? You're not going to be able to do it super easily. There are ways. I'm not going to go into all of them right now, but there are ways. If you happen to be an herbalist or a miner, all of those different types of nodes will grant you knowledge points and I believe artisans acuity. And I don't know how much acuity per, but I mean, the same with skinning to an extent, except that that's more random versus actually seeing, I don't know, a molten ceravite or whatever the ore is here, or a frigid writhe bark, right? You can like actually look on your map for specific nodes that you have yet to actually pick up. And that will be really helpful in getting you more knowledge points and thus, I believe, more acuity. Don't quote me on that. It's beta, things can still change. So that's going to be probably one of the better ways to get yourself up in acuity. But what you can also do, depending on how difficult it is to get to level, what was it, 35? Level 35, you could use an alt. You could take an alt who's level 70 and bring them to Kazalgar. It doesn't take long. And then you can have them do the quest to get 200 acuity. And then they can buy the pattern. And you can, boost their leatherworking or engineering or blacksmithing or whatever it is up to the level required. And then they can start fulfilling orders for people, including you. You can do a personal order to them, providing, your acuity and whatever else you want. And then your alt could eventually craft it for you. So that means that you would only have to find 100 extra artisan's acuity, because you wouldn't have to pay for the pattern because your alt did it. So that's one way to do it. Or you could pay somebody else, but it's probably in your best interest to get one of your alts, if not your main, to get these patterns more quickly than not. That said, there is a lot of money to be had in the green market. For myself, I might just focus on getting to be really good at making this stuff and selling it on the auction house. With 93 concentration, I could do 10 of these at level 2 and sell all of those on day 1. And it's possible that, I could actually get my leatherworking skill up to just past the 2 and then concentrate to get to level 3, which would be item level 550, which is not too bad, especially on day 1, day 2. So really take a moment, think about how you want to use your alts. Do you have any duplicate alts in terms of your professions? Do you really need, another enchanter? Maybe not. Maybe make it a skinner for the first 2 weeks, or a leatherworker for the first 2 weeks, and funnel, the patterns to that particular character until you, on your main, have more acuity to spend. I don't know about you, but on retail, I have 3,000 of this stuff at this point, and I'm getting tired of it. It's just taking up space in my bags. So eventually we will get to that point with Artisan's Acuity, but we're not there yet. Anyway, those are just my thoughts on profession equipment, Artisan's Acuity, and the War Within. And I hope that you found it helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.